Oh, I'm Ruby.
And I'm going to ask her some questions. What do you think about racism now?
I think that people don't really, care about it. You know, they say, oh, racism exists and I'm not racist, and they just continue on with their problems. And yeah. Judy, do you think we can ever end racism?
Well, this is an interesting question. So, basically, in my opinion, I don't think we're going to ever completely end this because there's still some people, they have different thinking, so that's why it makes us different. And just like what happened in the slavery and civil rights time, even if most whites hate or just kind of dislike the blacks, but they still some people who just support the blacks.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's just like opposite way. Most people is not have racism, but still some people have racism. So there's still a tiny little bit possibility that we're going to end it. So just if we just imagine a diagram at the beginning of the civil rights movement, there's lots of the racism, but now it has less racism. So it's kind of like a possibility going to end. But in my opinion, I don't think it's going to be end because there's still people has different thinking. Hi, Ms. Fogarty. My question is, how could the students inspire the people to stand up for the racism?
That's a great question, Judy. I think that standing up to people who make racist remarks is really important. There are two words that I think are important to this. One is bystander and the other is upstander. And bystander means that you're standing by and watching it happen. And upstander means that you are stepping in or you're following up and sharing the feedback of how racism is wrong, unacceptable, and unkind. Unkind seems like it's maybe not a strong enough word, but actually I think that's at the heart of it, is that we need to treat each other with decency and respect. So, I mean, it's a very big question too. So, I think that just getting more to concrete examples of how to do that. One form can be if racism is occurring and it's happening in front of people, then upstanding would be to say stop and don't do that, and it's not fair and it's not right. I think that that's one way to do it. I think another way to combat racism is to also stand up online, because a lot of stuff can happen through social media platforms when they're not used well, and oftentimes people can be anonymous in those ways, and that's and I think there's a lot of bystanding that happens online. So to stand up, be it through responding or whatever it might be, calling the person out if they're making a racist remark. I think another way to stand up against racism is to learn very deeply and clearly what racism means, and understanding its many layers and actually how comprehensive it is and how it can get ingrained in people's DNA and they don't even know it. So I'm sure you heard the phrase unconscious bias, which is something that every single human being on the planet Earth has. And so people becoming conscious of what their unconscious biases are. So education is a huge part of combating racism and standing up against it.
Okay, thank you. The second question is, how do we get people to want to stand up to racism?
Well, we need people to believe
This is annoying.
that